Hey everyone, it's almost time for another round of college football playoff games. We've got 4 this week, and the third one features Alabama and Indiana at the Rose Bowl. Kalen DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide are arriving on the West Coast late last night for this contest. Since losing the SEC football championship game to Georgia, the Crimson Tide have been playing and practicing with a chip on their shoulder. Starting quarterback Ty Simpson explained to the media how this team has used the negativity and turned it into positive results.
It's kind of, how it's been all season, honestly, just with, how we started off the season of, losing that first game and everybody, questioning us and, not knowing if we're a good team or not, and writing this off, like I said. So, being able to prove everybody wrong and have a little adversity is what we want. And being back to the corner, most people, if you get back to the corner, just kind of sit down and don't fight. But these guys and this team are fighters, and we're going to do everything we can to fight and claw and get out. And that's what we've shown through our schedule, through the season. And here we are now, in the Rose Bowl, playing against the #1 team in the country.
Waiting on the Crimson Tide are the Indiana Hoosiers. Coach Curt Cignetti's squad is undefeated. They captured the Big Ten crown and the #1 seed in this year's CFP. They also have the Heisman Trophy winner in Fernando Mendoza. Indiana has never been in a position like this on a national stage, and guys like Mendoza, they're soaking it all up.
Hearing everybody talk about the Rose Bowl has really helped it sink in for myself. It's really helped it sink in on how monumental this game is and how much this means to the West Coast and how this really means to the entire country. I know a lot of people online say that the national championship should be played at the Rose Bowl.
All right, the 2026 Rose Bowl kicks off at 3 p.m. on Thursday in Pasadena, California. The game will air live on ESPN.
Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
Welcome back, everyone. UAH women's basketball putting in a strong showing during the first 2 months of the season. The Chargers starting out 1-3, but since then it's been all doves for Alan Sharp and company. The Charger women hosting LaGrange College in its final game of 2025. It's also the last non-conference game of the season for the Chargers. First quarter, Mia Hollingsworth goes around the court to Deschler alumni Chloe Siegel. She cycles the ball around to Ivy Maddox, and the Coleman native knocks down the bucket from long distance. Chargers up by 6. Less than a minute later, UAH looking for more. Siegel picks up another assist, passing over to Mia Hollingsworth. Another three-point attempt is pure. Hollingsworth finished with 15 points. Chargers continue to roll. Under a minute left in the period, guess who records another assist for UAH? It's Chloe Siegel finding Millie Brown in the corner, and she swishes in the triple. Browns ends up with 9 points, while Siegel tallies 6 assists. One last highlight, Siegel gets her shine on as a scorer as the former Deschler Lady Tiger beats the buzzer and grows the Chargers lead to 15. UAH blows out LaGrange 84-34, the 50-point margin of victory, the most lopsided win in the Alan Sharp era. The Chargers are back at home and resume conference play Friday against Union University. All right, let's head north up the Parkway to Alabama A&M's Event Center. The Bulldogs hosting the Bulldogs from Fisk in their regular season finale. A&M leads in the second half. Count the bucket and one for Kentavious Dozier, the preseason All-SWAC selection. He had 12 points on the evening. Later on, Alabama A&M grabbing a rebound. Quickly goes on a fast break. Bilal Abdul-Rahman sauces it to Karan Davis, who takes it to Dunk City. Bulldogs led by 23. Soon after, Alabama A&M steals the ball. Davis lobs it to James Graham III, and welcome back with the alley-oop, Mr. Graham. Alabama A&M in full control now, up by 25. And after struggling from beyond the arc, in the first half, the Bulldogs find their stroke in the second frame. Graham swishes it from outside. Bulldogs shoot 43% from 3. They go on the win, 90-58. Here's Coach Jackson.
I thought we had a solid non-conference season. I thought we played well throughout the year, played well at home, but we didn't play very well on the road. So we got to make sure we do a better job in conference of taking care of business on the road. Defense travels, and we got to hang our head on that. But then more importantly, man, we just learned that some guys have some bigger roles and that they have to fill, and some new guys taking on some new roles. So excited just to see where we're going and where we can go.
All right, everyone, on Thursday, Alabama and Indiana will meet on the football field for the first time ever at the Rose Bowl. The college football playoff quarterfinal at the Rose Bowl kicks off Thursday at 3 p.m. Central between the 9th seed and the top seed. The game will air live on ESPN.
The Alabama Crimson Tide and Indiana Hoosiers will face off in the Rose Bowl. So we brought in Locked on Bama's Luke Robinson to preview the matchup with us. Happy holidays, my man. Believe it or not, the Crimson Tide just 5 days away from kickoff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm heading out there myself and can't wait. The Rose Bowl is always a great place to watch a game. Stadium could use a little work, but the scenery is unbelievable.
So let's jump a little bit into this matchup. It's one that certainly I don't think Alabama fans ever really saw coming. The Indiana Hoosiers, just from afar, what have you thought about their season, their 2025?
Yeah, I think most people kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, or either shoe to drop, in this case for Indiana, because they're undefeated. I mean, they go to Oregon, and everybody's like, this is where they'll finally take one on the chin, and they beat them up by 10. They have a tough road game with Iowa. They have to come back and win it, and some things went their way to make it look a little bit worse than it was. But going into Iowa is never easy. Then everybody just knows they're going to lose to Ohio State. Even the Vegas line seemed a little bit fishy. It was so low. And lo and behold, Indiana gets it done. So you've got to give them a ton of credit. Last year, I thought they were going to be a flash in the pan. And Curt Cignetti, he's right. I Googled him. He's pretty good.
He's like Kalen DeBoer. He's won everywhere he's been. So let's talk a little bit about the two head coaches, two guys that really did kind of start from the bottom and work their way up. Obviously, you have the NAIA ranks with DeBoer, then Fresno State, and then he gets a big Power 4 job in Washington, now at Alabama. Curt Cignetti, he was at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, then Elon, then James Madison. I bet the first two schools not everyone in Alabama's even heard of, and now he's at Indiana. What intrigues you most about the head coaching matchup?
Well, I think you're right. It's two guys that probably come in with a bit of a chip on their shoulders. All coaches generally work their ways up. So, I mean, this is not unique necessarily, but I think these two guys do have reason to look around and feel like they've been doubted multiple times. Curt Cignetti in particular, he's at James Madison. He gets them turned around pretty quickly. Then he goes to Indiana, and everybody's thinking, hey, why would you walk in there? I mean, everybody who goes there stays there about 3 or 4 years, and then they're fired, and they don't even get a huge buyout. Well, he's sort of changed the perception of that. And look, it's a new day and age in college football, and if you've got boosters and companies around you willing to spend the bucks, and hopefully a general manager and athletic director too, that are willing to put the money out there, you can create a pretty good football team. And that's what Indiana's done.
You have Ty Simpson on one hand, a guy who at one point was in Heisman conversation. And then it was a tough month there, man, really from LSU on. And then all of a sudden, against Oklahoma, they kind of wake up and you're like, oh, wait, yeah, there's that team that beat 4 straight ranked teams. There they are. I've seen them. And then on the other side, you have Fernando Mendoza, who just won the Heisman. What intrigues you about the quarterback matchup here in the Rose Bowl?
Well, these two quarterbacks seem a lot alike, too. I mean, the similarities right now, obviously, historically, these two teams are on the opposite ends of the spectrum. I mean, one's probably the best college football program ever, and one arguably is the worst Power 4 team ever. But, the colors are very similar, sort of small townish places that they come from. The quarterbacks both are awkwardly likable at times. I don't know another way to put it. I mean, sometimes they start talking and they start talking so fast, but you're like, I don't really know why I like him, but I like this dude. He seems like he's down to earth. Both of them, neither one of them's got a Diego Pavia or Johnny Manziel thing about him. I mean, they both just seem like really good people. And then you talked about the coaching similarity. So I think both these quarterbacks are very, very good. Both of them are going to end up drafted in the first round, I think, and I believe this year. Mendoza specifically, he'll probably end up going number 1. Statistically, though, Ty's got him beat in a lot of areas. Now, some of that may be because Indiana was up so big on somebody, or maybe Indiana's running game is so much better that they don't need as much passing yardage, however you want to phrase it. But Ty Simpson statistically is better in a lot of facets of his game. And I think Alabama's going to be able to do some things in the passing game.
I don't know if you guys on your podcast yet have made official predictions. So if you need to sort of skirt around, that's fine. But what do you feel in 5 days out in terms of who's going to win and who's going to go to the Peach Bowl?
Yeah, look, I reserve the right to change this, and I probably will in about 15 minutes. But right now, I'm going to say 24-21 Bama. I think it's going to be super exciting. I think it's going to be the best game of these 4 games that are coming up this weekend, and I can't wait for it.
All right, Luke Robinson, Locked On Bama, says the Crimson Tide are winning, and they are going to the Peach Bowl.
There's more to Fox 54 Plus with the Locked On Podcast Network. From the Tide to the Tigers, from college teams to pro, the Locked On Podcast Network gives you insights and analysis you just can't find anywhere else.
These kids, they want to play.
And I don't think so. I think it was Chad Baker Mazzara.
Locked On Sports, streaming every day of the week and right here on Fox 54 Plus.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then, stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush. Fast-paced news updates featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True crime warrior style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look, to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app. Available on Android and iOS devices. Streaming 24/7.